Hello Emmanuel, comment vas-tu?
Je vais très bien. Et vous?
Bien. Comment se passe ton dimanche après-midi? Oh, actually, I forgot. We have to switch into English.
Oh,
Oh, my God, it's going to be new for the both of us.
yeah, very new.
Because we used to be speaking in French for how long? Like 6 months
Six
or?
months. Yeah, 6 months.
Okay, so welcome, Manu. This is session number one of onboarding Emmanuel to smart contracts to Bitcoin. It's going to be half an hour max. So it's 10:34. How you doing today?
Fine. At least I didn't get to study so much today, so it's fine.
You don't have to study so much today?
Uh, yeah, I just decided not to study today, just probably rest and resume tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, so yeah. How's everything going in France with the studies? What's the general feeling? Today is going to be a very relaxed session. We're just gonna look at your wallet, maybe do a few basics that we reviewed with Divya already, but we'll do it with you. And then maybe next week we can deep dive on anything that interests you in the space. So let's start with how give us a little background about us, you and I, maybe. When did we meet, and then what's going on today with you?
Okay, that's a long story. Okay then. I think I came across Rafa on Facebook. There was this post on a Duolingo French learners group on Facebook, and I went through the post and followed the post to the initial post from Facebook. It was shared on Duolingo page, so I followed the post to my French community. Then it wasn't my French community. It was what was the first one again?
And relax, Emmanuel. There's no pressure. It's just you and I and half of Facebook. I think Facebook has 2.8 billion users, and all of them are watching us right now. So,
Oh Lord.
so don't worry. So yeah, so you were back in your country. You're from Nigeria, right?
Yeah,
You
then
were
I
a
was in
student
Nigeria.
at the
Yeah, then
university.
no, then I just graduated from the university.
As
Just
what was your
graduated.
degree?
Oh, in chemical engineering.
Okay, so you were already an engineer, chemical engineer.
Ah, okay. In my country, you don't become an engineer after studying chemical engineering. You would have to practice for 5 years and then write an exam before you officially become an engineer. So most times we say we're graduate engineers. Graduate
Okay,
engineer, I can say.
so you still had to pass that exam before,
For now, I don't have to. I'm in France for now, so.
right? And so you were in Nigeria. What city in Nigeria again? Remind me.
Okay, then I was in Warri, like in Delta State,
Yeah.
the oil-rich region of Nigeria. I was in Warri then, but originally I live in Abuja.
All right. All right. Abuja is the capital city.
Yes, Abuja is the capital city.
Okay, so you were studying in Wali, right?
In Warri, yeah.
Okay. And were you planning to go to France, or I think that when we met, you told me that you were studying several languages at the same time
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
on
then I
your
was
own,
studying
right? On your
just
own.
on my own. Yeah, just on my own. Then I just love the idea of speaking multiple languages. It's so interesting. And I just wanted to probably be more like my mom. She spoke several languages while she was alive. So I felt like, okay, fine. I
Right.
should do the same.
Right. And more or less that's how we met. You saw a post on Facebook on the Duolingo page. I think I did post something on the Duolingo at that time, and
Yeah.
so I was offering this Jedi program.
Jedi session, yep.
So can you tell us how the Jedi works?
Oh, the Jedi is a highly autonomous program for interested French learners. It's free monetarily, but it's demanding in the sense that you would have to put in a lot of work during the week. You have to make a research on a topic. You can decide the topic, There are available topics you can choose from, but if you want, you can pick something of your own. I did that sometimes, most times, sometimes, yeah. Then you would have to study on the topic, all in French, of course, throughout the week. Post your work on Rise, and Sunday discuss online with Rafa. It was really interesting for me.
Yeah, I remember you did post like a few topics of your own. Like one of them was a letter to your old self or future
Yeah.
self. Was it? Was it on your
Yeah,
birthday?
on my birthday, yeah, from my old self to my future self, yeah.
So that was a very, very good topic that you self created, and yeah, so exactly, it's free monetarily speaking, but you do have to post your work on this forum where all the others can see your work in French, 100% in French, and also giving feedback to others and receiving feedback, and then at the end of which you would create your own reflective script, which is kind of like a feedback to yourself, to your work,
yeah.
to your work. And if you had done that, all these 5 actions, posting your work, giving free feedback, and receiving feedback, and then giving yourself a feedback from your original work, you would, win a seat at the Sunday session like today, except it would be in French. So everything in French, right? Your work on the forum in French and everything in French. Okay, perfect. And I think you were very, very consistent for like, I don't know if it was 6 months. I think it was maybe more than 6 months. And can you tell us your progress in terms of like where you were at the beginning and then what happened at the end?
Oh, okay. At the beginning, at the start, I think because I had not taken any exams before then, so I really didn't know my official level in French according to the European language framework. I just assumed I was A2 at the beginning, and then I worked my way through working with Rafa until I got to a B2 level. And here, when I arrived in France, I was to take French lessons in my summer school in the whole of the month of August. And before the class started, I took an exam just to know my level. Then I would be placed in a class according to my level. And voila, the result came out. It was a B2. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really good.
Okay, awesome. Let's move to, so now you were chosen to go for like this Erasmus program, which is like a master's degree in France, Poland, and Italy.
Italy, yeah.
And so how do you feel right now? What's going on over there in France?
Initially, the idea was, whoa, I'm going to be traveling a lot, probably travel the whole of Europe before I finish my studies. And now I notice my studies are so...
It's intensive.
Yeah, so intensive because I have just a semester in each of the universities I'm supposed to study in. And since it's just a semester, I would have to cover a lot in one semester. So it's a bit intensive. I can get by. I'm so certain about that, but yeah, it's it's way more intensive than I thought. But sometimes I do get some time to myself where I could just probably go on a weekend break to Paris or probably go to Belgium, and it's been fine.
Did you go to a concert by Edith Piaf in Paris?
Not yet. But Edith Piaf, she's no longer alive, I think.
I know. But probably
a ghost party.
Yeah, they probably have like modern versions of her, although she was somebody. Okay, fine. All right. So you know what we're going to do here during 6 weeks. Today is the first session. We'll discuss about smart contracts on Bitcoin, and today, what time is it? Today is going to be really relaxed. We're just going to maybe go through a little bit what we already saw with the DVR, which is what is Bitcoin, what are smart contracts, what is stacks, what is a BNS, what is a DNS, and why Facebook was down, and and finally, what was the last point? What is stacking, maybe? So you don't need to know all of these things. We can discuss them together. But did you have any time? Like, I know you don't have to do any homework at all. It's just, we can discuss this together. But at the end, the last session would be you only, and like presenting something of your own, either some type of recap or some type of thing that interests you in the space. So yeah, have you heard of Bitcoin or so? Yeah. Is it the
Yeah, I
first time
have.
you like took a look at it? Did you do any optional look into these points I mentioned?
Yeah, I did. I kind of watched the interview with Muneeb Ali on Stacks, and went for some little search on blockchain, Bitcoin, smart contract, and softwares, hacking, and more like it. But
So
it's like
which one and which interview? The one that
the
I
one,
shared?
yeah, the one you shared with Muneeb Ali.
Uh-huh. I forgot which one
And
because
he was
uh-huh.
saying so many things that I really didn't understand.
Okay, so I shared with you. Let's see. Was it on which messaging platform?
I think on WhatsApp.
Okay. Emmanuel. Okay. Oh, okay. I shared building on Bitcoin with stacks. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. That 1 hour and 9 minutes interview
Yeah,
by I don't the name of the podcast is Smart People Shit.
smart people. Yeah,
I forgot the name of this person. Let's see. Okay, so what? So this is so. Uh, tell me what you understood. So who's Muneeb first of all?
if I remember well, he's a creator of Stacks.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he was trying to explain Stack, Bitcoin, the relationship between both, and then he was talking about something like blockchains, and they're interesting because they are decentralized, more like they are sovereign nations. And then Stack
Yeah.
trying to share the computing power of Bitcoin, using Bitcoin as a digital energy instead of consuming energy. So he was looking at an energy efficient system where Stacks is integrated to Bitcoin and probably increase the capabilities of the Bitcoin space or something. I really didn't
Yeah.
get much of what he was saying, but more like it.
Yeah, and that's actually a very good starting point, where I think we can safely say that Bitcoin is this digital currency. It's very safe, very secured. It's very difficult to hack Bitcoin. It's one of the most secured system we've invented. Um, so, and then just what you said is extending the capabilities of Bitcoin to actually smart contracts, which is more or less the mission of Stacks, like to put it simply. So maybe let's just stick to the plan and go through the points we've already talked about with DVR, because this particular video that you listened to that I shared with you is very detailed. He's talking to, I think, a podcast person who is someone who's has some success in the Bitcoin community, and they want to kind of like vet this Stacks system to see if it actually serves Bitcoin. So they're going into depth. But maybe let's just start like easy.
Yeah, really
Um,
easy.
and if you want, I can share more or less what we already saw with DVR. And it's going to be boring, but if you have questions and if you want to go more in detail, we can together. And again, I'm also a student here. I'm by no means an expert.
Okay.
And I'm just going to share my screen with you. So yeah, share screen one. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so fundraising for this time, Emmanuel. All right, so first question we talked about is what is Bitcoin? And we're not going to there are some really smart people who sometimes spend months and to understand what Bitcoin is. So I don't think it's just a little introduction of what Bitcoin is. So if you could give a definition of Bitcoin or what you understand about Bitcoin.
Okay, from my little study, I wrote here Bitcoin as a digital currency of the internet. And it is a very secure blockchain.
Yeah, so we can see Bitcoin as a digital currency. A currency, I think, has a 3 dimension to it. It's a unit of measure. So meaning that you can measure any goods in that unit in Bitcoin. It's a store of value. You know what a store of value? Like gold?
Like gold, yeah.
And let's see. I think there's somebody, do you know Kathy Wood? She explains this pretty well. She's a big investor here in the US. Let's see. Store of value. So if you put your basically your savings into gold, you want to expect that the value that it represents will not go down through time. So it's a store of value because it has a limited supply of 21 million Bitcoins.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't put it here, I think. So it's another point. I'm sorry if it's a bit boring, but 21 million Bitcoins. So it's limited, okay, in time. Like gold a little bit. Gold is limited in quantity. So fixed, right? Fixed.
Okay. Actually,
so
not boring. It sounds more like one of my lectures, but it's fine.
Right. And I think there's a store of value, means of exchange. Okay, means of exchange so digital currency is 3 things. Okay, so store of value, unit of measure. Okay, and third is a means of exchange. Okay, so do we use it like the dollar to exchange goods? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a network, like a blockchain. It's a blockchain, right?
Yeah, it's it's a blockchain. Yeah, I found that on my studies. It's a blockchain, a very secured one.
Say again?
A very secured blockchain.
Right. So what is a blockchain?
Did I write that? Did I try that? I think.
All right, let's do it together. So
Oh no, I didn't.
blockchain. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm just saying things really, really simply, in a simple way with my French, English mistakes and all of that. So you can say
I get a lot of that here.
you can say you have a decentralized network of computers or nodes, and they share a common database that they call a distributed ledger. Yeah.
Okay.
And they have a way to change the state of this database, right? State of database. Okay. So for example, the other day I sent you, I think it was 4 stacks or something.
Yeah, cool.
From my wallet, rafa.btc, to your wallet, which should be now, I'm assuming, Emmanuel.btc. Did you check that?
I checked that, but what I had was I think it's different. It's still having accounts and one. It hasn't changed yet.
By the way, do you have a laptop right now, or is it your phone?
Yeah, laptop.
Can we see your wallet for a second, if you want to share?
Okay. Um,
So yeah, so just to finish, it's a decentralized network. So you've got all these computers, these nodes that maintain a kind of like a database that is common. Everybody agrees on the state of the database. So if I send you 4 stacks or 4 Bitcoins, which would be a lot of money, but every computer in the network would agree that I did send you 4 Bitcoins. Okay, and there's
yeah.
what they call a consensus mechanism, which is kind of like a protocol, an instruction that governs how these computers reach this agreement. And that consensus mechanism with Bitcoin is called proof of work. And the way it works is these machines, they spend electricity for a chance to win a Bitcoin reward. And the first in let's say winning in solving a puzzle, okay, and winning that Bitcoin reward is going to be the computer that all the other computer agree that is the winner, and that is going to process this change in state. It will say, okay, Rafa minus 4 stacks, Emmanuel plus 4 stacks. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you follow what I was saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, about machines, proof of work, a consensus mechanisms through which the different machines execute some set of instructions, basically.
All right. So simply said is like, I'm spending electricity for a chance to win a Bitcoin reward. And if I'm the first in winning the competition of solving a puzzle, then all the other machines see it and they say, oh yeah, he was the first. Okay, he's the winner, and he is right. There's like a mathematical proof that they all agree really instantaneously, they like really fast, that okay, he's right, and indeed Rafa did send 4 stacks to Emmanuel. And you know, anybody who's listening, maybe I'm making mistakes in this explanation, please feel free to correct whatever it was wrong. But then this machine would change the state of the database, and all the other machines would also update their database, and everybody has the same database. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can see your Hero wallet on your Chrome. It's a Chrome extension. And we can see that you have 4 stacks plus a BNS name. That's Emmanuel.btc I sent you. And for an unknown reason, the wallet is not displaying Emmanuel.btc, but it's okay. Let's move on. So we cover quickly because we have lots of things. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can.
All right. This will stop other screens. Okay, yeah. All right, so it's a digital currency. It's a unit of measure, means of exchange, store of value. It's a decentralized network. There's this database, distributed ledger. It's very secured, and it's censorship resistant. Do you understand this?
Security, if one computer is down, the system continues to be live because all other nodes have the same information. Okay, that's because it's a decentralized system. So each computer on the network is having the same amount of information every other computer has. So if one is down, because they are in the same network, because it's decentralized, if one is down, every other computer is able to proceed without depending on the one that went down.
Yeah, exactly. And also that's on security, right? And also maybe we can say that it's very difficult to double spend. For example, I would be sending the same STX to you and to Divya, so twice. That's very difficult because you have to hack not only one computer, but all these computers, and they all kind of like watch their backs. If my English is correct, you know, like if you want to cheat on someone, it's easier than cheating on hundreds of people because they are looking at you.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And then it's censorship resistant. Why?
Censorship resistant.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What does it mean? Well, opposite. Who has the power to censor? Censor what?
Whoever makes the rule.
Yes, censor what? Censor, for example, if there's a central party, for example, if you are a customer of a bank, they are the ones I don't know, any central party that controls something, right? Controls something. they have the say of what can and cannot be done, right?
Yeah.
For example, I don't know, if you go to a museum, don't touch the paintings. For good reasons, they don't want you to touch it because the decrepitude of it, right? So they put guards in each room and you won't be able to touch it. All right. So you're not free to do anything. They control the rules. They control the rules. And if they want to change them, they can. Okay. Here, this system, it has a white paper. It has kind of like a set of rules. And then once the set of rules are there, there's no central party that can change these rules. It has to be a consensus. So if the rules allow me to send you 4 stacks, there isn't a central party that will tell me, no, Rafa.btc, you cannot send Emmanuel.btc 4 stacks. They cannot prevent this from happening.
Okay.
Any other, maybe if somebody else wants to join this conversation to explain better than me, why is it censorship resistant? But, if I have another example, can we Google that maybe? Let's come back to this later, all right? All right, so we have a Bitcoin, which is a digital currency, which is decentralized and is secured and censorship resistant, okay?
Yeah.
So what are smart contracts?
Programs stored on a blockchain that are executed when some specific instructions or conditions are met. Okay,
can you give me an example?
This is more like codes if when yeah. Then
yeah.
So
an example of if it is 10:25, then ring the alarm.
Yeah, more like it.
Okay, so if Rafa.btc clicks on send, then change balance, Rafa -4 and Emmanuel +4, right? This is kind of like a program as well, but they're talking about smart contracts. So they're saying that potentially Bitcoin is limited in terms of what you can do on it. It's very, very secured the way it's designed because it's very decentralized. It's very secured. You cannot hack it. But they're saying that, there's another layer of smart contract that are a little bit more elaborated than just this, let's say, that can be built on top of it. But essentially, it's a computer program, like a computer program on that is stored on the blockchain that anybody who have an internet connection can trigger. So here I can trigger with a hero wallet. I can click and send you 4 stacks. If I have 4 stacks. If half fast balance, right?
Yeah.
Supérieur ou égal to 4 stacks. Okay. So we're going to be very basic because we have very limited time and I don't want to be boring too long. But then basically the mission of stacks. So what is stacks? So actually it's written here. But go ahead, be more like, if you have any questions. Yeah.
Okay. From the explanation I got from Muneeb during his interview, he was trying to explain that smart stacks is trying to share the computing power of Bitcoin in the sense that it's more like an energy efficiency, like call it a program or set of instructions that is trying to use the digital energy of Bitcoin instead of consuming more electricity. I think that's basically what I got from there.
Yeah. Exactement. So stacks it's a blockchain. Okay. So everything that we say for Bitcoin is valid for stacks. It has this distributed ledger. Okay, so database that all these nodes share. And as you're saying, it shares, what is exactly the sentence you use? It shares the computing
power of Bitcoin.
So I'm not an expert again, so I'm not completely sure of that, but it seems that since it's a I think let's see. I think I took some notes about that. I think he has like this, he explains there's 3 types of blockchains, I think. And he's saying there's one, I don't think it's blockchain he uses, but maybe I haven't prepared, it's somewhere written somewhere, but let's keep this for later. It's too detailed. But yes, since it's a blockchain, okay, it has all these nodes, it has this database that is shared by the nodes, and it has a consensus mechanism, okay? And in this case, it's called proof of transfer. Yeah. So, and often people in the community call proof of transfer proof of recycle. I think it touches the point you just mentioned, because what it does is, instead in the Bitcoin blockchain, there's proof of work. So the nodes, the computers, they spend electricity for a chance to win a Bitcoin reward. All right, and that reward is an incentive for these computers to maintain the blockchain. Because if there's no reward, why would my computer, just do this for free? You understand? By maintaining the blockchain, I mean, for example, processing all the transactions and updating the database. You follow me, Emmanuel?
Yes, I am.
So they're doing all these calculations. They have to maintain the database, and everybody agrees on this database. That's why sometimes they call Bitcoin the source of truth.
Wow, nice.
Why? Because all of the nodes, all the computers agree that I sent you 4 stacks. That's like source of truth. Like, it's not only one central party that says, and they can cheat, the central party, right? Here, if you want to cheat, you need to cheat hundreds and I don't know how many nodes, right? Millions. I don't know how many, to be honest, I don't know how many, but it also is very costly to cheat because you have to, you know, have hash power, like this computing processing power, and you need to consume energy, electricity. So in the case of stacks, all right, who are doing this? The miners. They call these the miners. Miners are spending electricity for a chance to win they call this a block. Every block, every 10 minutes, the machine updates the state of the database. Miners are spending electricity for a chance to win, and they get a reward, right? A Bitcoin reward, plus some fees from the people who are processing these transactions. I don't know if you saw, but if you click on, if I send you 4 stacks, I need to pay a very marginal fee for these miners to process. It's the reward.
Processing fee. Yeah.
Right? So they get there's actually a Bitcoin sort of a mini inflation, like this reward that is being created, plus all the fees that come from the transactions. So miners are spending 30% to win a Bitcoin reward, and they're also they're getting the fees, and they're also updating the source of truth, right? The ledger. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Updating the database.
So in the case of stacks, miners are spending Bitcoin. They're not spending energy. They're spending Bitcoin, and they see it as digital electricity, digital energy, because it already comes from energy, right? Miners spend the energy, and then they get a reward. So it's almost like a transfer. So in the case of stacks, miners are spending Bitcoin for a chance to win a stacks reward plus fees. And they also update the database. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, there's this property that this consensus mechanism, who is the winner of this block, who will win these stacks, in this consensus mechanism called proof of transfer, they the nodes are able to see the Bitcoin state. So it's a novel consensus mechanism where they see what's going on the Bitcoin chain. And by this ability of seeing what's going on the Bitcoin chain, this is where smart contracts come in, because if you have a Bitcoin, if you do a transfer in Bitcoin, stacks, sorry, my T doesn't work really well. Stacks miners have this ability to see your transfer, your Bitcoin transfer, and it can trigger a software on the stacks blockchain, which is another way to say a smart contract.
Okay.
So for example, if Emmanuel, I don't know, sends, I don't know, 1 Bitcoin, or there's Satoshi as well, I don't know, 100 Satoshi, right? 1 Bitcoin, let's put it simple, to this particular address, then on stacks, you know, a software is triggered.
Okay, more like a set of instructions.
Yeah, but on the 2 chains at the same time. So the miners can see what's happening on Bitcoin, and they can trigger a software that's on stacks.
Okay.
All right, and that's one of the main novelty of stacks, that it brings smart contracts to Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin because for good reasons, Bitcoin is secured and all of that, and we don't want that to change. We're adding a layer on top of it called stacks that complements, that further expand the capabilities of Bitcoin without the need of changing Bitcoin, because a Bitcoin transaction can trigger a fully fledged smart contract on stacks. And actually, this whole thing allows DeFi on Bitcoin. You know what DeFi? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going too fast. All right. So,
Okay.
all right. So maybe let's forget about these points for now. What is DeFi?
Yeah.
And we're going to finish with this because it's 11:15, right? What time did we? Right. We're already overdone. Let's finish here. Okay. Let's finish here. I think we're good. Do you have any questions with all of this? So maybe let's just give you an example of smart contract, right?
Okay.
So an example of smart contract would be, I don't know, Rafa. If Emmanuel wants to borrow, I don't know, 1 Bitcoin from Rafa, okay? Sorry about that. We can have this happening, okay? Rafa sends 1 Bitcoin to Emmanuel on the Bitcoin chain. A smart contract on stacks sees it, okay? Sees this. Also, and smart contract will ask Emmanuel to provide a guarantee in, let's say, US dollar. Okay.
Okay.
When that's done, okay, smart contract will release on Bitcoin 1 Bitcoin to Emmanuel. Okay.
Yeah.
And then when T plus, do you want to borrow for 1 year? For how long do you want to borrow?
Okay, let's do 1 year.
1 year.
Okay.
Plus 1 year. When T plus 1 year happens, because the program knows how to knows that you can trigger anyways. Smart contract will verify that Emmanuel reimburses 1 Bitcoin. I'm going to give you a 0% interest rate. Okay.
Okay.
It's better than the German bank. German bank is negative interest rate. Or worse, whatever. When T plus 1 happens, smart contract will verify that Emmanuel reimburses 1 Bitcoin plus 0%. If it's the case, smart contract releases the guarantee to Emmanuel. Okay, the US dollar, or if you're in Europe, is euros.
Yeah, euros. Yeah.
If not, smart contract releases USD to Rafa.
Okay.
That's an example of smart contract. So I'm sending you a Bitcoin, and at the end, if everything is okay, oh, sorry, I forgot here. Yeah, if everything is okay, you get your guarantee back and I get my Bitcoin back plus 0% interest rate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an example of a smart contract. If you fail to reimburse me, then I have a guarantee that is released to me. And this is permissionless. The contract will execute no matter what. I don't need to trust. I don't need to trust anybody.
That's a good thing.
Or any central party. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. We're finished.
Okay.
Sorry, I think we took a little bit more than half an hour. I don't know exactly.
It's fine. I actually have nothing planned for the rest of the day.
Yeah. But do you have any questions? Or if you want, we can read just again a little bit of these. At the beginning, it's going to be boring, but as we go through, then you can decide where to go. Like what would be the agenda for next week, for example.
Okay. Okay. For now, it's fine. I'm totally new to all this.
Let me share again. Let me share again my screen with you.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay, if we can go really quickly through what is Bitcoin, what is stacks, and what are smart contracts. Basically, here is an example of smart contracts. If you need this, let me know, or yeah.
Okay, we started with Bitcoin as a digital currency of the internet, a very secured blockchain, and it has three major properties. It's a unit of measure, it's a store of value, and it's a means of exchange.
Yeah.
And we talked about decentralized networks, which is more like a database. Every computer is connected to a distributed ledger, the central base, through something you call nodes, individual computers, and they are very secure because each computer does not really rely on the next. They have the same amount of information, kind of. Then it's very difficult to breach the security because they kind of have each system looking out for the other, like they watch their back, like you said.
Yeah.
Then
exactly. Yeah.
Then who has the power for censorship? Like I said earlier, whoever makes the rules. Yeah. And what else? What else? Yeah, we talked
What
about
is this?
smart contract, which program stored on the blockchain that runs when predetermined conditions, specific conditions are met, usually to execute an agreement between parties. And
Yeah.
there's basically no involvement of intermediaries. It's basically self-run program, so there's no intermediary kind of.
Why is it self-run?
Because it's following some specific rules that have been made by whoever is making the rules, like I said earlier on. So once the rules have been set, it's more like okay, I think that's why it's called a contract, because when the contract has been set, you can't break it. It's the system runs on the program, the code.
Exactly. That's a very good question. Answer. But who runs it? Because it's not run in thin air, right? If we have a contract, we have a set of rules. Who runs it now?
Maybe the software itself, I think.
Well, it's all these machines, right? Let me share maybe decentralized nodes or something, like a picture, right? Have you seen this type of picture? You see? So there isn't one central party that decides for everybody. It's like lots of computers, they know, they share the same database. So if this software is in the database, the smart contract is a software, an agreement, it's in the database. So everybody knows and see it. It's very difficult to cheat on it, right? Because you would have, so they all run it, all of them. And they compete for a reward. So every 10 minutes, they compete to get this reward plus fees through a consensus mechanism that they call proof of work. And they elect a winner. Okay, you're the winner. You're the first that has solved this puzzle. So go ahead and process this transaction. Process this smart contract as well. So this program, let's say, so all these nodes run it, but there's no central party, but they all verify that it's correct, kind of. Okay, so if I'm elected, I'm the node that's elected, I get a reward, and that reward rewards me for spending this energy that makes it secured, and also it rewards me for maintaining the database. So I'm going to check, is it T plus 1 year? If yes, then I need to execute this smart contract. And all the others are watching me that I'm doing it right. So I'm going to say, did Emmanuel send Rafa his Bitcoin back? If yes, fine, I'm giving Emmanuel his US dollar back or euro
guarantee.
back. Yeah, his guarantee back. If not, then I just execute the program. So who runs it? The blockchain, like the network of miners, right? Okay, I think we're done.
Yeah.
All right, I think I hope next time. So for next time, I don't know, just let me know during the week, no pressure, what you want to do. If there's maybe this interview of Muneeb, if there's 1 or 2 points that you would like to see together, and it'll probably be easier because all of this stuff is kind of like central to understand everything else.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you feel?
Have to go.
Sorry, I cut you off. You were saying?
I would probably have to go over the video again, the interview with Muneeb, and see if I could get 1 or 2 things more than because I think I have a better understanding now than I used to have. So go over the video with this understanding and see if I could pick out 1 or 2 things, and probably we could discuss that for next week. Yeah.
And I'm a student too, so I might be saying something that is not exactly correct. So I'm also trying to learn.
Okay, that's fine. We're both learning.
All right, awesome. So let me know during the week. And anybody who's listening to this, if you want to donate 1 of your NFTs or sell your Bitcoin Day, if you're a Bitcoin savior, I'm myself selling 1 of them right now on nftstx.com/rafa.btc RAPHA. It's day 2, and all the proceeds will go to Emmanuel. That's it for me. Un mot de conclusion?
Okay. Okay. It's a new start, something I don't really understand yet, but I hope as time progresses, I'm going to get better at it and probably get really interested in it. It's something I've really wanted to learn about, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and maybe I'm too engrossed in chemical engineering and biorefining, but I think it's an opportunity. So
maybe there's a way to link the two. Maybe there's a way to link the two.
Probably. Maybe when I get the knowledge from here, I already have the knowledge of chemical engineering. I can link the both of them.
Awesome. Merci beaucoup, Manu. Et à la semaine prochaine. See you next week.
À la prochaine. Oui.
Et surtout, quoi qu'il arrive, garde ta flamme intacte.
Garde ta flamme intacte.
Salut, Manu. Tchuss.